It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. A Maryland man has been charged with fraud offences worth over $150,000. It's alleged the 36-year-old has completed several contracts with people who had no knowledge the man was using their details to buy a huge sum of tickets and merchandise. The man was arrested around 2 o'clock yesterday morning in his Maryland home and is set to face Newcastle local court today. A man remains in a serious condition in the John Hunter Hospital after a failed-to-stop crash at Mount Hutton. The 70-year-old had just pulled over his Ford Falcon Newton box trailer under the Warners Bay Road overpass on the northbound side of the inner-city bypass to cover the load when he was struck by a large white truck. He suffered multiple rib fractures and suspected chest and leg injuries. The driver failed to stop, and police are appealing for anyone with dashcam footage or information about the crash to come forward. An increase in dog baiting in the Hunter has prompted calls for dog owners to be more vigilant, even in their own backyards. Hunter animal advocate Jane Svetanovsky says baits containing pills, rat sack and fishing hooks were found at a home in Aberdare over the weekend. She says it's dangerous for pets, but also small children who might come across the baits.
That's why people need to be vigilant, check their yards every day, even when you're walking your dogs along the street, and in dog parks and stuff like that, just check and make sure your dog's not going to pick anything up because, it's getting increasingly bad out there.
Hundreds of workers employed by the Downer Group are expected to march down Hunter Street, Newcastle this morning as they down tools for 3 days over a pay and conditions dispute. Union representatives say company executives are dragging the chain on a new enterprise agreement for 300 Hunter workers and have only offered a minimal pay rise along with a cut in conditions. They're pushing for a 3% increase. A controversial development application seeking to extend the hours of Cessnock McDonald's to 24/7 trading will go before Council at tonight's meeting. The application dates back to 2009 when it was refused by Council due to its failure to adequately address potential social impacts. The amended application before Council tonight is asking for a 12-month trial period for an extension of trading hours of the drive-through facility only. Councillor Ian Olsen says he's been contacted by concerned neighbouring residents.
Residents that live exactly straight across will get the lights going through their houses, the noise of the cars driving in and out, and as we know, some people take off a bit quicker than others. The intersection is not the safest. There's basically rubbish, noise, all those type of things are a bad effect on the local neighbourhood.
A ship which lost more than 80 containers and roughs well off Port Stephens has just arrived in Port Botany. The YM efficiency will be checked by safety officials. Plastics, building materials and other items have been washing onto beaches north of Newcastle since the cargo went overboard on Friday. Newcastle will welcome a new community service to help people with legal processes. Victims and Witnesses of Crime Support is a volunteer-run organisation which will provide support and information to Hunter residents about understanding court procedures and how to prepare a victim impact statement. Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott McDonald, says the service will reduce the stress felt by victims and witnesses of crime involved with the legal system.
So look, got to remember this is a voluntary group of people. They take on that support role for you. It can be a very, very stressful experience fronting up to court as a victim or a witness. And this little bit of extra backing up, I think, is very, very important.
Sport for our sponsor, PRD Nationwide East Maitland.
The Newcastle Knights have named an almost unchanged lineup ahead of their clash with the Roosters this Saturday. Herman Esse is the one name returning to the field after the side's breakthrough win against Parramatta last start. Halfback Brock Lamb has also come back onto the extended bench, overcoming a fractured cheekbone. Meanwhile, Knights star Kalen Ponga is soaking up Origin week, but is expected to miss out on a game in tonight's clash. Ponga was flown to Melbourne as an injury replacement for the Maroons. However, winger Dane Gagai has been cleared to play. The experience is set to bolster the young fullback even further, with teammate Sione Matautia saying he's ready for the next step.
He's a confident young kid and I'm sure he'll be just fine, and I think the big stage suits him really well. He's such a confident player on the field and real humble off the field, so he's the full package. He's definitely what you want your young boy to grow up like.
And Broadmeadow Magic could be without star Mitch Oxborough for their FFA Cup match with Adamstown this Saturday. Coach Ruben Zadkovic could rest the playmaker due to an ongoing hamstring problem. Elsewhere, Edgeworth will take on Hamilton, while Lambton will play Coffs Harbour side Port United. And the winning numbers in Oz Lotto are 11, 30, 45, 18, 33, 37 and 23, and the supplementaries are 6 and 3. 2NURFM News Time, 25 to 9.